What's up, fam? Hope everybody's doing well tonight. So we have another first impression unboxing here. So full disclosure, I have had this knife for a little while. I've gotten to play with it. So this is not the first time it's been out of the box, but I wanted to give you guys the full experience on this. This was also sent to me from Trivisa. So again, I always like to tell you guys that right out of the gate. So again, they did send this to me. They're awesome, some awesome people to work with. And they are 100% okay with me telling it how it is. So if there's something I don't like about the knife, or if there's an issue with it, you guys are going to hear about it. Hopefully you guys know that by now. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into this. So this doesn't really have a name. It's the Trivisa DOR-04BA. So that's what you can, if you really like this knife, that's what you can put in to the search engine on Amazon to find it. There will also be the Amazon link down below. But this is the Stonewash 14C 28N with the black micarta. It is a button lock. So this is their kind of more premium packaging for Trivisa. You get the little slip cover. And then the blue and gold box, which I love that blue and gold. I think that looks great. Inside, of course, typical Trivisa, you do get their little monogrammed microfiber, the QC product certificate, and their little, typical packaging there, as well as the microfiber pouch. And then the knife is usually nestled in on foam here. And we'll go ahead and take a look at it. It's in a Ziploc baggie. So again, we'll zoom in. So this is the DOR-04A. So taking a look, you do have your Trivisa logo on the pivot there. Some really great micarta. So sort of a light gray or black. So this actually would take some dye very well. Typically this micarta will take a good dye. So if you use something like a sapphire blue, this will dye to like almost like a blurple or like a midnight blue color on your scales. Really, really, really nice there. Looks like we are dealing with, I can't tell. Looks like it might be T8 body screws. We'll check. So there's, of course, your T8 pivot. My eyes can't tell the difference between them. Yeah, it might be T6s. Anyway, so you do have a little bit of oiling going on here on the top of the micarta, and that's just from the factory where it's been sitting in the box, and all the the factory lube and stuff has kind of started soaking into the micarta there. So that's kind of what it'll darken up to that after a while if you carry it and use it. So our pocket clip is reversible. It is pocketed, so it is inset. Flat screws, you got just a little bit sticking up there, nothing crazy. Beautiful half length, well, a little under half length, but you do have a micarta backspacer with a little bit of jimping that doesn't really do anything. It's just more there. You feel a little bit of texture, but it's not really jimping, so or not really done for that sake. And it is a flipper design, so because it has a little bit of an upsweep to it, it does catch your finger pretty well. But the jimping, oh come on now, you can focus on that. The jimping is there, but it's not very sharp. But again, because it's got that little bit of an upsweep to it, it does kind of grab the finger pretty good. Also, you've got this contouring inside the handle, which gives you a little bit of different feel on the handle. Of course, all the edges are contoured and chamfered. No jimping anywhere, again, on the back, except for that little bit on the back spacer. Pocket clip is pretty good. It's not the strongest clip, it's not the weakest clip, so that's pretty good. Let's see how it goes in and out of the pocket with basketball shorts. Yeah, pretty good. Got enough tension to hold on. So let's go ahead and take a look at this blade here. So you guys know anything about Trivisa, you know that they love their pointy blades, and this one is no different. So this is a fairly large blade knife. It's not massive, but for the size, it is fairly large. It is thin though, so it kind of, and you'll see it whenever we back off and show the whole knife. It has kind of a weird aesthetic as far as when the blade is open. So again, you got your Trivisa logo there. Pretty decent finger twirl, but as far as sharpening twirls go, your plunge grind ends pretty late, so you don't have a ton of sharpening. It looks like you've got about to there, so maybe one or two, maybe three sharpenings. So I'd like to see that plunge grind terminate a little sooner, so that give you a little more room for sharpening. But again, the grind itself, the factory grind, is absolutely beautiful. So you can see that there, very, very even grind all the way to the tip. And speaking of that tip, it is not as fine as you think it is. So if you look there, so you've got a ton of meat behind that edge, even at the tip on the side. So even though it's a very, very pokey tip, it is not ground super thin all the way to the tip. So it's going to have a little bit of robustness there. Now on this side here, you've just got your 14C28N. And again, that's stone wash or black wash on the blade. Here's your other side for the grind line. Great stuff there. All right, let's go ahead and back it on up. All right, so here now that we're zoomed out, you can see what, hopefully you see what I was talking about. So I think the knife looks good. I love the handles. I love the handle shape and everything. I think that the blade is a little too narrow or a little too short top to bottom. I think that gives it a little bit of a strange aesthetic. It could just be me, but again, I think it's got a little bit of a strange look just because of that. Now, that being said, the knife itself, you put it in hand, and because I got it set up for right hand, we'll look at that. So in hand, it is, it's comfortable. And my hands, I'm in between a medium and a large, and it fits my hand perfectly. I do have plenty of overhang here, so if you do have larger hands, it's still going to fit fine. And this was without being choked up. What makes it so good is I do not feel the pocket clip at all. Not even a little bit. Like, it just melts in the hand. And then you do have that finger choil, so you can choke up if you need to. You can choke up there. You do have some jimping on the back, and the jimping is pretty good. It's not super rough, but it does lock your hand in if you need it be. Now, again, I have not really messed with this knife a whole lot. Anyway, all right, let's take a look at the screws here. So we've got our T8, and machining is really good on that. No wiggle. Let's see, is it a T8 body? Nope. So we are looking at T6 body screws, which is very typical, and these are machined flawlessly. For anybody that's wondering or doesn't know already, these are the Vera or Wera, however you pronounce it. Pretty sure it's the Vera bits, or the Vera screwdrivers. These are great. You cannot get a whole lot of torque on them because they are teeny tiny little screwdrivers, but they are machined amazingly, and as long as the screw isn't super tight, you can get them out. But all of these screws are 100% machined correctly. No issues there. So now, like I said, as I've been carrying this knife a couple times and playing with it a little bit, I haven't made any adjustments. I wanted you guys to see it exactly how it came out of the box. So for me, the button is a little, or not the button, and this is going to sound weird, the action's a little too smooth. So when you drop the knife, it's because the blade is a little heavier. It's hard to get that timing just right. You can do it because I've been playing with it a little bit. You see, I can get it and get it to drop in just fine now. Actually, I guess it's probably broken in a little bit, but when I first got it, if you hit the button and let go, it would stop. There it goes. So it stops and won't close all the way. But if you hold the button in, it just bounces like crazy because this blade is deceptively heavy. And like I said, it's because it's made with some pretty thick stock. So for the knife of this size, it's got some fairly thick blade stock. But you can, I guess now that it's breaking in a little bit, just as soon as you break the button, just let go of it, and it is going home, which is really good. I like that. You do have a little bit of button stick. We'll try to let you hear that here. So you do hear a little bit of that button stick. But yeah, so I do prefer to have a little bit of button stick on my button locks. That's just makes them less likely to fail. And this is something I want to ask. So it's not a test that I personally do on any knife. Honestly, what I typically do on a knife is I will take and I will hold the knife on either end, and I will get my hand as close out to the tip as I can, and I will push, and try to close the knife by force this way. And if the lock holds, to me, that is good enough for me. I haven't done the spine whack tests and things like that. I do get why people do them. It's just not something that I do personally. However, because a lot of these knives are being shown as, for you guys, is the whole reason I do this. So if general consensus, if you guys would like to start seeing some spine tapping or spine whack testing on some knives, I can certainly do that. Again, it's not something that I would normally do, but if there is an outpouring of people saying that they want to see that on the channel, of course, I'm here for you guys, so I will try to do that. But from personal experience, I pretty much know that if a button lock knife has a little bit of stick, like this one does, then it is not going to fail that spine whack test, because that is locking that button in pretty good. Again, the action on this is great. Now that, I guess, unfortunately, now that it's breaking in a little bit, I wanted you guys to be able to see that, which I can kind of replicate it if I hold the knife down a certain way. But I've probably only flipped this thing, counting the video now, I've probably only done it, 15 or 20 times. So not a terrible amount. But our centering is spot on, as you can see there. Let's take a look at the interface on the lock. So you can see that there. Let's see, can I get... Now, dagnabbit, I know I have a... flashlight. Give me a minute. One of these days I'm going to be actually prepared for a video. Then y'all won't know what to do. Y'all won't know what to do with my shenanigans if I'm actually prepared for a video. So. Alright. Now let's see if we can't see in there. Ooh, that's a little bright. Let's go down a little bit. There we go. So you can see your lock interface there. So you do have a pretty well, not polished I'm going to say, but you do have a fairly clean lock interface. I see a little bit of marring there, nothing crazy. It might just be a reflection of some oil. But looks like there is some oil on the blade lock interface there. That's probably what's causing the button stick, which, in my opinion, is fine. I will end up taking this knife apart if it's one that I keep, and cleaning that up and taking care of at least that part of it. So, yeah, all in all, guys, I have been pleasantly surprised with every single knife that I have gotten from Trivisa. Just my full honest opinion. I had been looking at purchasing some of their knives for quite a while. For whatever reason, it was just that anytime I had a little bit of extra cash to spend on some knives, it ended up being something else. It was one of my buddies was dropping a knife, or you guys know how much love I have for Vosteed. One of their knives would be dropping or something. There was always some reason that kept me from purchasing one. But I'm sold on them. I have been absolutely sold on these guys since the very first one they sent me, just before Christmas. That one ended up being a gift for my brother, and he absolutely loves that knife. He's been carrying it every single day since. So great blades. We'll get into a little bit of the specs on this guy. So again, it's not a small knife by any stretch of the imagination, but it's not crazy big. Cutting edge, you're looking at right at 3.5, and it is just over a 3.5 inch total blade length, and then our total length is right at, closest makes no difference, to 8.25 total length. And our weight on this dude is, let's see here, 4.5 ounces. So just a hair over that ounce per inch guideline that we all would love to see. But again, this is a fairly robust blade. You've got some pretty thick steel liners that are milled out, so you do have some speed holes made in the liners there. But then again, you also have some fairly thick blade stock. Let's see if I can get any measuring on that. No, you can't measure it without. I have to get me some micrometers so I can measure that on some of these thicker blades. But yeah, like I said, it's a great knife. I really do love the ergonomics on it. That's what really impressed me so much with this knife, is just the feel in hand. And you know, of course, it's Trivisa, so I haven't had any issues out of their blades as far as sharpness is concerned. So, I mean, that is as good as you can come to expect from any knife out of the factory. I mean, this is insane performance, and this paper is, I mean, you can almost see through the damn paper. It's crazy. There you go. So, but it is yeah, it's a sharp blade. I mean, I've got zero issues with that. I've had zero issues with Trivisa in that aspect. Out of every knife I've gotten, they've all been surprisingly sharp. Especially considering from the factory, they've not needed any touch-ups, not needed any sort of stropping or anything like that. So let's get that going. I appreciate you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and end this now. You guys are seeing this. I'm probably on my way back from Blade Show, Texas. So hopefully I got to meet some of you guys there, and you know, I hope everybody's doing fantastic. I hope you all had an amazing weekend. Outside of that, we'll catch you on the next video. Just remember to be kind, be humble, be EDC. Y'all take care.